الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله ذي الملك والملكوت ذي العزة والجبروت. الحمد لله حي قيوم لا ينام، عزيز لا يضام، قهار لا يرام. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. أما بعد، يقول الباري سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, grant us the great gift to die on the state of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the state of Islam. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, fear Allah as He should be feared, and die not except on a state of Islam. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling us in a hadith narrated by Imam Muslim, and the narrator from the companion Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim is Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. قال بادروا بالأعمال فتنا كقطع الليل المظلم يصبح الرجل فيها مؤمنا ويمسي كافرا، أو يمسي مؤمنا ويصبح كافرا، يبيع دينه بعرض من الدنيا. بادروا بالأعمال. The Prophet ﷺ describing in us a time when there's going to be a lot of trial, a lot of tribulation, a lot of difficulties. And one of the signs that is come, as the Prophet ﷺ said, of the Day of Judgment, those tribulation is going to be like tremendous, big. And are the most tremendous and proliferation of all this problem, the difficulties, the problem that the truth, it becomes like many people, they will be confusing in knowing the truth. Because kind of a thin line, or maybe there is not any more line for those who do not know, or those who do not want to know where the truth is and where the force is. Therefore, someone, he might be, starting his day as a believer, but he heard things, he changed his mind, or he will be offered a bargain that with this bargain he will not care really. Why? Because he wants that bargain to be with him, even though he knows that that bargain is against the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he ends his day as a disbeliever. Or he ends his day as a believer. He just prayed Isha and he's, mashallah, he's good, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as soon as he woke up in the morning, he listening to some news who just confuse him, change and start to have something in his heart and doubt and everything confusing, then he, subhanallah, becomes a disbeliever. This fluctuation between belief and disbelief, as the Prophet ﷺ said, because of the confusion. So in the hadith that I mentioned, the Prophet ﷺ telling us how to treat such a situation. How can you face, and what the type of the action, not the type of the action, but how can you face a situation when there's such difficulties, such confusion, such people filled with doubt. قال بادروا بالأعمال, hasten to the actions. To face tribulation, to be fitna that shakes with the tremendous shaking of the faith. قال كقطع الليل المظلم. Look, the parable that the Prophet ﷺ gave to the fitna, to the trials. قال كقطع, pieces, من الليل المظلم, from the darkest part of the night, or from the depth of the night. Which is mean, when you are a trial and it's so dark, you don't know where is the truth. And that's the confusion when it happened. That's the fluctuation between the iman and the disbelief or the ungratefulness happen. Therefore, someone, he finds himself in a way like he's worshipping Allah on an edge, on a very thin line. But the end is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for the people around you, not the environment around you who decide what is going to happen to you in the akhirah. Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He reminding us in the statement of the Prophet ﷺ that Islam was a stranger. And he said in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, قال وسيعود الإسلام غريبا كما كان. And the Islam is going to become back stranger as he started. That's how he started. Now, when we look, and all of you know this hadith, what it means to be stranger. Stranger is like the fact you walk among people, even among your own people, even among our society or the Muslim society, because Islam becomes stranger even in the Muslim society. Therefore, the one who's acting in piety and righteousness is the one who is being like pointed to. He's the one who's been accused. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, those إِنَّ الَّذِينَ أَجْرَمُوا كَانُوا مِنَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يَضْحَكُونَ. Those people who wrongdoers, they use when they see the believer, they laugh. وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِهِمْ يَتَغَامَزُونَ. When they pass by, they winkle. Which is mean we are in a situation that the strange, how Islam became strange in the way of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, to the point not only that the righteous person or the one who's fulfilling his deen, he's like the one being respected, but no, the one who's respected is the sinful. Because people now commit the sin and they really come with vanity to show off. Put it everywhere on the social media with a picture that he's doing haram and they doing things, and they really showing off this type to the whole world to see that they are disobeying Allah. When the believers, when the one who's right is like he's kind of shy for people to hear that he's true believer, the people to hear that he's someone who reading every day Quran. He doesn't want to say that. Why? Because some people, they don't want. Why? Because the gharabatul Islam, the way how Islam became stranger among us, that is what it led to the point that we said the sinful as being seen and observed and witnessed in our Muslim societies. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us here and protect our communities. But in the Muslim society, you see it. The one who is making sins, it becomes like something, is the fashion to follow. As the Prophet ﷺ قال لا تتبعن سنن الذين من قبلكم قال شبرا شبرا ولو دخلوا قال جحر ضب لا دخلتموه. You're gonna follow the people or the ways of the people before you, like span by span, step by step. And if they enter the hole of a dhab, or like an animal like the lizard, then you will enter it. One of the scholars said not even, he said, they follow it to enter any hole anyone else you throw in it or go to it. Actually, they prostrate to it, they make sujood to it. And here we have an issue, a very serious issue, that we need to treat with ourselves, with our family, with our communities. The believer, he's losing that honor, he's losing that might, he's losing that pride, that he feel like ashamed to be a believer, to be something like, it becomes like in the mentality of the people, it's like a passé to be a believer. Which means, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in the Quran, those who believers becomes like people, they mocking them. And this is how the way of the wrongdoer they do. Also in past generation. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked to us about the people of Lut. What did he say? They said, قال أخرجوا آل لوط من قريتكم إنهم أناس يتطهرون. Expel the family of Lut from your town. They are people who want to be purified. Then you say to yourself, Allah from the other side said, and Allah loves those who purify themselves. So are we going to go with the fashion of today in these new ideologies, where someone who loves to be purified, he's like someone who's like, not wanted or not like it, or like disgracing in a way. And this is the ghurba of the Islam. This is how someone, he's a stranger. But a stranger doesn't mean weak. Stranger doesn't mean that you're going to melt your identity. That's why the Prophet ﷺ told us what to do. And then we're facing something inside ourselves, our hearts. The Prophet ﷺ said about the way our mood changed, the mood of our heart changed. He said, قال إن القلوب تتقلب أو انقلابها أشدا من القدر إذا اجتمعت غليانا. You see the pot when you put your food and you cook it and things are boiling, or you're boiling water. You see that boiling of the water, how it moves? That's how the heart fast, the moods of the heart change. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the Prophet ﷺ told us, he said, every heart is between the two fingers of the most merciful subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the way that fits his greatness subhanahu wa ta'ala and majesty. قال يقلبهما كيف يشاء. He changed them the way he will. Now change them the way of the will, the way you chose the path you want for your heart to be, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will let it. If someone's seeking something wrong, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let it deviate to the wrong. If you wish for Allah to help you be firm, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the firmness. And that's why Salama radiallahu ta'ala anha told us about the hadith that all of you know. When the Prophet ﷺ قال كان يكثر, he used to say a lot of this dua, يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك, or the one who turned the hearts aside, have my heart to be firm on your path, Ya Allah. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت يا ربنا قلوبنا على دينك. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have our heart to be firm on His way. What is this action that the Prophet ﷺ recommending us to build, to have its establishment in ourselves, to strengthen so we can face the fitan, the difficulties, the tests, the trials of today? This action is the action of Thabat. Thabat is the firmness, to be firm, is a worship, is an action, is a struggle. The Thabat starts with one great point. The Thabat starts with the fact to test yourself. The test how much in yourself you are certain that Allah is telling you the truth. How certain you are in the greatness of Allah. How certain you are in the power of Allah. How certain you are in Allah that He's going to provide you. He told you, I'll provide you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the provider. How certain you are with Allah that He's going to provide you. How certain you are that Allah qahirun fawqa ibad. He's the irresistible. He has the all might, subhanahu. He has the all power. How certain you are. How certain. And you ask, you say, the promise of Allah is coming with no doubt. How certain. And this is the test that we said, like shake our heart. How certain you are. Allah telling you, the help is there. So why you are shaken? Why you are scared? Why you are sad? It's coming. What I need to do? Not what you need to do. Strengthen your yaqeen in Allah. Strengthen. Because when you strengthen your certainty in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what happened? The tranquility is going to reside in your heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send you, the delight of the eye will be, subhanallah, what will be into your way. You feel it. The Prophet ﷺ be threatened by Abi Jahl to not pray at the Kaaba. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us an example. This one is threatening you to not pray. This one is bringing you out, pushing you out from your deen. Tell you, you are bad, you are. He said, okay, and you change your deen. Your deen is your connection with Allah, to whom you're going to return, and everyone else is going to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ went to make sujood in the Kaaba the next day. And when Abu Jahl, he want to show off, he's sinful, and he want to show off, and grateful, and he want to show off in front of his people. When he came, he found between him and the Prophet ﷺ a ditch, and it has a fire and giant neck of camels, and he was so scared. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Wallahi, if he get one step, he will be ripped apart. He went back scared, pale. And look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us and telling us. قال لئن لم ينتهي لنسفعا بالناصية. If he will not stop, we will hit that forehead, this forehead. The leader, the forehead that guide you, that make you human, that make you someone who be like people, to be arrogant. That what you have here is in the hand of Allah. Everyone, he's nothing without Allah, because Allah is holding his structure, he's holding his life, he's holding his sanity, is in the hand of Allah. قال كلا لا تطعه. Don't even listen to him, don't even care about him. واسجد واقترب. Make prostration and draw near to Allah. That's the yaqeen. Therefore today in the situation, what we're going to do is like to follow and to kneel to the difficulty that we have, or kneel to the type, whatever people they want to do. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَاسْجُدْ وَاقْتَرَبْ. Come close to Allah because you need that yaqeen. And the yaqeen, the test of the yaqeen in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask yourself, if the whole people of the earth, they become disbeliever, are you going to be certain and firm on the path of Allah? If the whole people of the earth, all of them, they come disbeliever, are you going to still say La ilaha illallah? That's the yaqeen. That's the test of the yaqeen. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال وَإِن تَتَّبِعْ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَإِن تَتَّبِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And if you follow the majority of the people of the earth, they mislead you from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِن يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا ظَنَّ. They only follow conjectures. Because the truth, the only truth is with Allah. Why? Because Allah is the truth. Al-Haqq al-Mubin. So anyone else, he changed against Allah, you as a believer, you say La ilaha illallah. Yaqini bi Rabbi. You have, that's the meaning of the yaqeen. If everybody around you turn against you, telling you you are wrong, I said, no. Allah is the truth. That's the yaqeen. Imagine if everyone in the earth turn to be disbeliever. What will be your position? That's the test that we test our hearts. And Allah give us example. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was the only believer in his people. And then his wife and his nephew Lut alayhi salam. And the whole ummah gathered against Ibrahim. Inna Ibrahim kana ummatan qalilatan lillah. He was a comprehensive leader. He was a whole nation by his own self alayhi salam. قانتا, devoted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. He never was associating any partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The whole people, they gathered against him. Even his own father, to gather some of the wood to be thrown into the fire that is going to burn his own son. Ibrahim was Thabat. That's what we need. Thabat. Firm. Why? Because he knows that Allah is the truth. He knows that Allah will never let him down. He knows that Allah, from his sunnah, from his law, that he always will be supporting and helping the believer. He knows. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intervened for the fire that they made to burn Ibrahim, the fire being the servant of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this fire to welcome Ibrahim, to honor Ibrahim, and to have Ibrahim in the best climate ever existed on earth. Ya naru kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. O fire, be cool and peace on Ibrahim. And Hud alayhi salam standing against this tyrant of the people of Hud, of people of Ad. All of them gathered against him. What did he say? قال إني أشهد الله. I witness Allah and I witness all of you. He said, قال فكيدوني جميعا. You know what كيدوني جميعا? Like plot all of you against me. Bring your armament, bring your power, bring your weapon, all of you. ثم لا تنظرون. Do not give me any respite. طيب, someone, for example, when he's standing with Hud alayhi salam, he said, Hud, do you have a backup? Or what do you have? Are you challenging people with such a power? So Hud, what did he say? He said, yes, Allah sent me 3,000 angels. No. He said one statement for us, to teach us. To teach us. قال إني توكلت على الله. Thabat, yaqeen. He said, I put my trust in Allah. My Lord and your Lord. ما من ناصية إلا ما من دابة إلا هو آخذ بناصيته. You know what it means? There's no single creature, walking creature, or any type of the creature, but their forehead in the hand of Allah. The one who threatens you, his forehead in the hand of Allah. His life in the hand of Allah. The one that he doesn't want to give you the rizq, he's the one who's providing for him. And he's Allah, he's the property of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Hud alayhi salam, then what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the ayah, قال إِنَّ رَبِّي عَلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. It's amazing what it means. He said, indeed my Lord is on the right path. What the meaning to be, indeed my Lord is on the right path? On the right path because Allah doesn't change his laws. He said, he promised you he's going to help you. He will always help you. He's going to provide you. He never break his promise. When you call him, he always will answer you. When you come to him, a believer, he going to honor you. When you make sujood to him, you are the closest to him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna rabbi ala siratin mustaqim. Dear brother, respected sister, the yaqeen in Allah is a test with ourselves. That's what will help us to be firm on the way of the deen. And the yaqeen and the thabat, the firmness, is not to live. What good will be life if someone humiliated? What life will help you if you're not with Allah? If you have $1 trillion, what's going to help you, the $1 trillion, when the earth will be taken out of your own skin, degenerating you? It's not going to help you. That's why the people of the ditch that they've been burned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored them. As our own people, they've been done with them today, the same thing. We cannot do anything. We'll do the dua for them. We do whatever. What they need from us is our yaqeen. Because to know such a people, also Allah honored them with the firmness to die on the state of Islam, as He did for the people of Al-Ukhdud that Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Buruj. When the Prophet ﷺ was traveling in his night travel in Al-Isra with Jibreel, he smelled a scent. It was the best ever scent he ever smelled. قال ما هذا يا جبريل? What is the scent? This is said the Jibreel alayhi salam. This is the scent of the hairdresser of the daughter of Fir'aun or her kids. Say, what's her story? She said, my Lord is Allah. And Fir'aun, he said, no, I'm your Lord. She said, no, the only and the one and unique and la ilaha illa hu is Allah. He told her, I will kill all your kids. He threw all her kids in front of her eyes in a boiling oil. After that, she said, what do you say? She said, La ilaha illallah. Thabat. This scent of this woman and her kids to be in this vast universe, for the Prophet to smell it and to give us this message. She has a baby in her hand. And she could not do it. And her thabat, her firmness, get into a trial of being shaken. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been narrated in Sahih al-Bukhari, make her baby to speak. قال أماه أثبتي إنك على حق. Mother, be firm, you are on the path of the truth. And she being thrown with her baby. إخواني, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, أم حسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Do people think to say, they will say, to be left alone when they say we believe without being tried? The trial is a necessity. Why? Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't try us, doesn't test us, so we'll be deluded that we are true believers, we are great people, but we're not. Because being good people and true believers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you what means to be a good believer. He's going to give you your unity. He's going to give you your triumph. He's going to give you your help. He's going to give you happiness. He's going to give you tranquility. He's going to give you all of that. We're doing all what Allah asking us to do and we don't find that. So why? Because there's a problem. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by obligation on Himself to help you, He make you go through trial. Why? To check your own truthfulness with Allah. Ya Allah, my imani is truth. What I believe in you. Ya Allah, is my imani truthful? You ask yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I said that I'm going to test you. So testing us is in honoring us. Why? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us be truthful with ourselves. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Ghazwat al-Ahzab, those who have perversity in their heart, what they said when they've been, seeing all this Confederate army, قالوا ما وعدنا الله ورسوله إلا غرور. Whatever Allah and His Prophet promised us, it was a delusion. But the true believer who are seeking Allah's pleasure, the true believer who they know that they're going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true believer who have the yaqeen, what they said when they said the Confederate army, and they didn't have power to face them. قالوا هذا ما وعدنا الله ورسوله. This is what Allah and His Prophet ﷺ promised us. What he promised them? Promised them if they be firm, Allah will help them. وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying the truth and His Messenger. وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. It's only increased their iman and their submission to Allah. That's why if you summarize the firmness in 3 points, it has a principle, it has a way, and it has a provision. Principle, way, and provision. You can study it in the beginning of Surah Al-Ankabut. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you say you believe, I'm going to test you. So the first principle is your yaqeen. Do you truly believe that you're going to meet Allah? You ask yourself. If you truly believe Allah is telling you, then know surely that this term is coming. And He's listening to you and He knows about you. So just help yourself. Strengthen your heart to get that tranquility. من كان يرجو لقاء الله فإن أجل الله لآت وهو السميع العليم. You listen. You truly want to meet Allah, hoping to meet Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, I'm waiting for you. It's going to come with no doubt. So help yourself to be strong. That's what the believer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قال, you have a great pattern and model in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for those who hoping to meet Allah. That's why the believer, they were firm in Al-Ahzab. The second, the way is to struggle. The ayah after it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال, وَمَنْ جَاهَدَ فَإِنَّمَا يُجَاهِدُ لِنَفْسِهِ. The one who's striving, he's striving for his own self, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free of all needs from anyone. So you do it for yourself. But when you struggle, what is going to help you? The struggle. People, shaking you, this confusion, this doubt, this, subhanAllah, campaign of atheism, even in the Muslim society. How to make the dhikr? What type of dhikr that we need? What type of remembrance? You say to yourself, Wallahi, Allah is the Razzaq. I know He's the Razzaq. Don't be sad. Allah is the Razzaq. Allah is the merciful. He's going to help me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised that He defend the believer. He's going to help. Have patience. That's the type of the dhikr that we need. That remind yourself the name of Allah. Boost your heart with your iman by reminding yourself the greatness of Allah. Then when you go to the sujood, you say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. And you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have to put a smile into your heart. Why? Because you helped yourself by the struggle and the dhikr for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to switch your heart to the yaqeen. Allahumma ij'alna min al-muqinin. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على النبي المصطفى. أما بعد. In very concise and summarized, point, I want to share with you this point. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us His patience is part of the firmness, inshaAllah ta'ala. How can we implement that? How to do the firmness? How to be Thabat? How can you bring this power of strengthening our yaqeen in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You might do like 99 steps and someone he give up. When that next step where the help of Allah is awaiting you, that you still have one step. So why did you stop? 5 things. The first thing is going to help you in this time of difficulties, trial and tribulation is the Quran. Because Allah said in the Quran to the Prophet, قَالَ كَذَلِكَ لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادِكَ. We send down the Quran to you to have strength in your faith, to strengthen your heart. Second, to study and read the story of the prophets. Go back, read them in the Quran, study them. They are the best people who ever walked on the earth. No one of them has trillions of dollars. The Prophet ﷺ didn't have anything when he left, when he died. The same Ibrahim. All of the prophets. قَالَ كُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادِكَ. Every tale that we gave you from the news of the messenger to strengthen you and to give you firmness is for us. The third thing is to act on what you have learned from the deen. Don't learn from the deen and then you make your life outside of the masjid, outside of the salah, with totally different system which is not Islam. قال ولو أنهم فعلوا ما يوعظون به لكان خيرا لهم وأشد تثبيت. If they have done or they've been doing what they have been told, it's going to be good for them, and He's given us strength in their faith. The fourth thing is to be with the good people, with the people who remind you Allah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Kahf, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ. Be patient with those who call on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala morning and evenings. Those who are going to help you to be firm. Not the people who are going to talk to you about music, about things, or about these things of the dunya is halal, alhamdulillah. But if all that talk about that, those people are not going to help you. The last thing is not the least, which is the heart of everything, is the dua. Be with Allah. Make dua while you're driving. Make dua whenever point. Make dua when you walk, and make dua when you get to your office. Make dua when you're leaving from your home. Make dua in your salat, out of your salat, before the salat, after the salat, because the Prophet ﷺ قال الدعاء مخ العبادة, and he's the one who told us يا مقلب القلوب ثبت على قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا أجمعين. اللهم مكن الإيمان في قلوبنا. اللهم طهرنا من الذنوب يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اجعل أعمالنا صالحة كلها صالحة ولوجهك خالصة. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا ووفقنا لاجتنابه. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأقم الصلاة يرحمكم الله.